As the Fire Chief of the Toronto Fire Services, I would like to extend our deepest sympathies to the family and friends of the 4 residents of Toronto who died as a result of 3 separate fires on Sunday, March the 28th. The local communities, emergency responders, and citizens alike share in this grief. We are truly sorry for the loss of this life. I'd like to start this news conference by introducing Chris Williams, who is Manager of Fire Investigation Services with the Office of the Ontario Fire Marshal. Chris will provide an update on the status of investigations in the 3 fatal fires that occurred last Sunday, March the 28th. Chris?
Thank you, Chief. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Office of the Fire Marshal, I'd like to express sincere condolences to the family and friends of the victims in the 3 tragic fires that occurred this past Sunday. Just 3 weeks ago, I stood here expressing my condolences to friends and family of the father and daughter that tragically died in an unattended cooking fire. And unfortunately, I stand here again today to talk about 3 separate fires that happened in the course of one day and claimed the lives of 4 people. As you know, the Office of the Fire Marshal investigates all fatal fires in Ontario, and this morning I will provide some facts on our investigations that are vital to share as they reinforce key fire safety messages that could save lives. The first fire occurred at 5:05 a.m. at a large 2-story home that had been renovated for apartments on 22nd Street. There were a total of 14 occupants residing in this building. 1 person died at the time of the fire, and a 2nd person succumbed to smoke inhalation and fire-related injuries on Tuesday. There's evidence that a smoke alarm activated to provide an early warning to alert the people in the building to the fire. However, the first victim was overcome by the fire developing in his room. The 2nd victim sustained injuries while attempting to exit from the 2nd floor to the main floor. We have determined that this fire was caused by careless smoking. Our investigation also uncovered that while residents were evacuating, the door became lodged open on the main floor, and this allowed heat and smoke to spread to the 2nd floor. Our investigation has also revealed potential fire code offences that are being investigated by the Toronto Fire Services. A 2nd fatal fire occurred later on that day at approximately 6:45 p.m. in a high-rise condominium on Southport Street in Toronto. The smoke alarm sounded in the unit of origin. However, the 74-year-old male occupant requiring the use of a wheelchair was unable to escape. The developing fire did activate the building's fire alarm system, and the damage to the unit was such that we cannot determine a fire cause. Our 3rd fatal fire occurred on a house on Thyra Avenue, where a 61-year-old female victim was discovered by responding firefighters. The investigator in this case recovered 2 smoke alarms in the home, one without a battery, and the 2nd alarm had the battery in backwards. Clearly, neither of these smoke alarms were in working order. This fire was also caused by careless smoking. We believe these fire deaths could have been prevented. Careless smoking is the leading cause of fire deaths in Ontario. From 2004 to 2009, approximately 71 people lost their lives in fires caused by careless smoking. Smokers should smoke outside and need to take responsibility for properly extinguishing their cigarettes. Cigarette butts need to be put in water or large, deep ashtrays. Empty all ashes in metal containers, never into a garbage can, and leave the container outside. In order to survive a fire, you need to be provided with early detection and early warning, and you need to know what to do when the smoke alarm sounds. It's the law to have working smoke alarms on every story of the home and outside every sleeping area. The smoke alarms can give you this precious time needed to get out safely, but they must be taken seriously, and you need to respond quickly. Evacuation should never be delayed. Occupants in multi-story and multi-residential buildings need to pay attention to the fire alarm system, and they need to be familiar with the building fire safety plan. You should never enter a smoky corridor or smoky stairwell. If you encounter heat or smoke, use an alternative exit or return to an apartment and call the fire department, advising them of your location. I have just reviewed the 3 tragic fatal fires in 3 different areas of the city that occurred in 3 different types of residential buildings. This is clear evidence that fire can happen in any type of occupancy at any time. Our staff investigate all types of fatal fires, and we want everyone to be diligent in preventing fires in their home. Ensure you have working smoke alarms on every level and outside every smoking area, sleeping area. In fact, the fire service recommends that you install a smoke alarm in every bedroom. Ensure everyone knows what to do when the smoke alarms sound. In a fire, every second counts. Again, our sympathies are with the family and the friends of the victims, and the Office of the Fire Marshal. Again, thanks to Toronto Fire Services for their efforts in cooperation with this difficult investigation. I'd also like to thank our investigators for their diligence in the face of such challenging circumstances. Their hard work provides us with the lessons to be learned from these tragic events. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chris.